Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back from my amazing book tour and I have all the highlights to share with you. If you weren't able to come on the tour and you'd still like a copy of the book, there are two ways you can do it. Diesel Books in LA, where I had my first event, they have about 20 copies and they're willing to ship all over the world. So the link is below and you can click on that and order your book. Or if you already have a book and you want a signed copy, here's another solution. I can send you one of these signed book plates. So there's a link for that below as well. Okay, settle in, pour yourself a second cup of coffee because here comes the full book tour.
You're still at 27.
Come on.
I had to keep taking things out of my suitcase because I needed to get it to 23 kilos. Otherwise, I was going to spend a small fortune on excess baggage fees.
Well, I did it. 23 kilos. So for those of you who can't make the book tour, I thought I'd bring the book tour to you. Let's go have an adventure.
Normally, I would have taken the train to Nantes, but my sweet husband finally took pity on me with my heavy suitcase and decided to drive me an hour to the airport. I figured it was a good time to have one more flaky croissant before heading off to the U.S. So to get to the U.S. from Nantes, I take a small flight about an hour or so to Paris. Once in Paris, it was time to change planes for L.A.
Okay, one down, one more to go.
Paris to LA is quite a long flight. It ends up being a very long day. It can be anywhere from 10 to 12 hours depending on the wind. So I was quite excited when I saw that the two seats next to me were going to be empty. My sister, who normally lives in Minneapolis, had come to LA for the weekend. Because my parents still live there, we thought it would be a fun little family reunion. As soon as we got in the car, I was reminded about the traffic in LA.
Look at this traffic. It's packed. It's a parking lot. And it's 4:49.
I know.
It's not even 5 o'clock.
But then this way we get to catch up.
I know.
To beat the traffic, we decided to take Pacific Coast Highway. This is the stretch of beachfront that was just devastated during the recent LA fires. I could not believe what I was seeing. Just structures that just were burnt to the ground. It was so heartbreaking. The ironic thing is once we got into the interior and went through the canyons, everything there was so green. It was really kind of surreal. I kept feeling like I was in New Zealand or Hawaii. I've never seen this hillside so green. My sister was saying that after the earth has been burnt, it comes back actually stronger, which I thought was so incredible.
Today is pub day. That means it's go time. Pub day is the day that the book is published. So it means that the book is available everywhere books are sold. And I have a local television appearance to do today. I'm usually pretty comfortable on camera, but when it's live, I'm just a nervous wreck. I don't know. There's no do-overs, right? So I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm trying to remain calm. Wish me luck.
And it was off to the KTLA television appearance. I took this time in the car to review all the talking points that my PR team had put together for me for the book. They're so sweet. Look how organized this is. And I had made some notes just about the recipes that I was going to be sharing, just to make sure I covered off on all the important tips. Then we arrived at the studio. Oh my gosh, my nerves were already nerving. I was met by the producer and he took me back into the inner sanctum of the studio.
Okay, finally we made it. I am going to meet with the food stylist who is putting everything together because unfortunately I don't have a kitchen. I couldn't make any of the food. This is Anne.
Hi.
Look at the book. There it is.
I know. There it is. I'm setting up your table.
Okay, amazing.
So I'm going to put all the plates and things out, and then I'm going to go to our makeshift kitchen and finish all the food.
Yes. Now, this is a real talent because there is no kitchen here, and you really see the skills of a food stylist when they know how to put it together with limited resources.
Right.
And you work for the show a lot, right?
I do a lot here.
Yeah.
I have over the years, yes. Yeah.
That's why I love her. I am also here super early because I heard that the traffic in LA because of the fires is insane. And so I just wanted to make sure I got here really early. So I'm about an hour early.
propping things up, using masking tape to get things to
I
stick
was
down
wondering.
and not move.
Oh, you are a pro. We are very lucky to have the mayor of Upland here today, and you are promoting the Lemon Festival.
Absolutely promoting Lemon Festival today. I'm here with Beth at her promotion, and my gosh, you know, growing up in an Italian family, I got to tell you something. This is making me hungry, and I can smell everything. I'm extremely impressed with what she's done.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, hopefully it tastes good. It looks great. That was exciting. I've never met a mayor except for my own mayor in our little small town in France. So now I've met 2 mayors. The demo table was carried into the studio, and Anne was just putting on the finishing touches. Okay, we're getting close.
Our next guest is the hostess with the mostest, who's been sharing creative and practical entertainment advice for over a decade.
The hosts were so sweet and complimentary over the book. They tasted the food and loved it. It really couldn't have gone any better. Well, that went so much better than I thought. Easy peasy. Now it's time for some fish tacos. This is something I really cannot get in France, fish tacos. So I was taking every opportunity I could to enjoy some. And now it was off for my first book signing. I was headed to Brentwood, and again, I wanted to leave early because of the traffic. And there it was, the Brentwood Country Mart, one of my favorite little spots in LA. It's so charming, and I thought the perfect spot for the first book signing. It is cloudy and rainy. I brought my umbrella. This is supposed to be an outdoor event, so I just got word that they're gonna bring it inside. It's gonna be super cozy. For this book tour, I picked all independently owned small local bookshops. I just think there is something so wonderful about the vibe of an independently owned bookstore. All the chairs were set up. Look, there is my little poster, and look at the books. I hadn't seen all my books in one spot like that. It was so exciting. We had 50 RSVPs, so we decided it would be more efficient if I pre-signed the books, and then that way people could get in line to get them personalized. This is my first book ever that I've ever signed. Where should I sign? Let's see. Okay, I guess down here. Okay, here we go. In addition to the attendees, I was also signing all the pre-orders. So if you pre-ordered a signed book, it's in this stack. 90 more, or how many? 89 more? Here we go.
Actually, 120.
120 more to go. I better pick up the speed here. I shared stories from the recipes in the book. We had a packed house. So many friends and family came out. It was so much fun. All the girls from Kin Community that I used to work with, friends that I hadn't seen since we moved came. There was also a very sweet woman who I sat next to on a plane years ago, and she showed up. What a fun surprise. Then it was off to the city, so the event was later that night, so I had a little bit of time before I had to get ready. And certainly one of the fun things about San Francisco are all of the hills. Oh my gosh, up we go. At times you really do feel like you're in a little roller coaster.
And then you can, get all the video from
I had the friendliest cab driver, and he kept wanting to show me the best views of the city for my videos. Ooh, there's the San Francisco trolley car. Isn't it cute? Was he not the sweetest taxi driver? Oh my gosh, I loved him. I have an hour to change and get ready for the event. Here we go. Hi, this is my dear friend Adrienne. College friends. We haven't seen each other in 18 years. Few years, but she lives up here and she's coming. I'm so excited. The Ferry Building is a cultural landmark in San Francisco. It's a beautiful piece of architecture that dates back to the 1800s. Now it's dedicated to serving local food artisans of the area. I have not been to the Ferry Building in years. This looks so great, but we're a little lost, so we have to find where we're going. Then finally we rounded the bend, and in the corner there was the most charming little bookshop, Book Passage. This is where we were headed. They had the poster up, the chairs were being set up. It really was a beautiful space for an event. Then we got smart again with the books because we had about 48 RSVPs, so I thought the pre-signing would go well. That way all I have to write is the name and there's more time to chat. I've never done anything like this before, and while you may have a big audience online, you never know, are people really going to show up in real life to come see you? It's a big relief to see all your friendly faces. I shared stories from the book to questions from the audience, but really the best part of all these events is meeting the fans.
This is Maddie, a longtime subscriber that I finally get to meet in person. And I think everybody, keeps saying, oh, I'm so excited to meet you. But, I'm so excited to meet you because it goes both ways. That's what makes a fun relationship. This is super sweet. Heidi and Anna have just brought me a little pastry.
I was so touched by these gifts. It was the sweetest thing.
This is
Beautiful.
I love this.
And remember your trip.
This is Gordon. Gordon has been a subscriber for how many years, Gordon?
Probably 7, 8.
At least 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And I recognized him in the crowd from his avatar. He looks just like his avatar.
And then I had a friend from the time machine, as she said it.
Anne's father lived next door to my parents in New Jersey when I was like a newborn baby, and she was about 6. And we loved her dad. We called him Daddy B. Yes. Great. And I didn't know she was coming. And I kept looking at her in the audience thinking, I know this woman. Why do I know that face? Could you have the same face?
Thank you. Well, that's nice.
That was the most amazing evening. Thank you so much to everybody who came out. And now it's time to head to Minneapolis.
It was so early in the morning, but I did appreciate looking at the light. There's something about the light in California when it sets against the mountains and the clouds. It's just so beautiful. Time for some breakfast, but I was looking at these pastries, and after being in France for a year, for some reason, they just looked so big. The portions just looked very large. So I thought maybe I would just go plain and simple with a croissant. Before I left the US, I didn't have time to turn my driver's license into a real ID, so I have to travel with my passport between states. And if any of you are headed to Florence, Italy this summer and are looking for something to bring back one of these little passport wallets. They're so cute. And they weren't expensive. I think I got this one for maybe $15 in the leather market, but it's really handy. It keeps your passport and your boarding pass all nice and tidy. And the best part about coming to Minneapolis is my sister lives here, so I get to see her again.
Yay! A double dose.
A double dose. Okay, I am at my sister's new house. She is showing me the basement. This is one of these things that's great about the Midwestern houses, is they have basements that are like a whole other house down here. She is somebody who loves fashion. She loves her beauty products, and she has used a section of the basement for her closet. Now, you've seen the closet that I have in France, okay? So just keep that in mind as we go look to see what is in here. You have to see this. I just had to show you. All right, are you guys ready for this? So her laundry room is down here, but then take a look at this. Look what she's done. This is like a store. Hey, Meg, where are you?
Oh, I'm here. The first part of it is that when you have Opus outlet, you get fabulous designer clothes for $3, $5, $10. So, I mean, of course I'm going to have a place to display everything.
Oh my. I could not believe this. Like, my jaw dropped when I walked in here because she had a similar setup in her other house. It wasn't this big. And I used to call it, what do we call it?
The Diva Den.
The Diva Den. Yeah, I would call it the Diva Den. This is like Barbie Dream House. This is like the Barbie closet. This is nuts.
Now,
what is going on here with all these products?
So this is hair products, facial creams.
Oh my God,
and
yes.
then makeup is right here. And because
Oh my gosh.
I always want to remember my sister, I have
Oh.
this Saint Gilles Croix de Vie.
Oh
and
yes, the Saint
the Eiffel Tower that
right. I forgot you bought that there. You are so lucky that you do not have a daughter, because
I know.
this would
I
be
know.
my daughters would go nuts in this. And then she has some family heirlooms. Here's Meg at what? 3? Circa.
I'm going to say it was 5. You were
5.
4, and
Oh my
Joe
God,
was
I
1.
was 4, and then my brother, look at him, he's so cute. He was 1. My dad painted this of us. I didn't realize you had that painting.
Yeah,
That's so cute.
You know who paid to have that shipped?
Who?
Your husband.
Philippe?
Yep.
Why?
Because I had all my artwork at Mom and Dad's, and when they moved,
yeah.
I was like, oh, I guess I'll just throw them away. And Philippe
Aw.
said, no, I'd like to pay for shipping.
Oh, he did? That's so
Isn't that
sweet.
nice? Yeah.
I knew I liked him.
The next day, we drove off to a local television studio because I was going to be doing an appearance to promote the cookbook. So we are here at Twin Cities Live getting ready for my segment on outdoor entertaining. So I got my sister here who's helping, and Pat, the food stylist. Wow, this all looks so amazing.
Beautiful crudité platter. I love your orzo salad.
Yes.
And that chicken. Look how gorgeous that chicken
Yes,
is.
that's one of my favorite recipes.
Awesome. I hope you're okay with that.
No, I'm perfect. This is amazing. Look at this.
And then I have your green goddess dressing. This tastes amazing. I
That's
have to
yummy,
say.
right?
It's
Yeah.
very yummy because I've had bad green goddess dressings in my day. This one, let me tell you, I was doing this.
Oh, you're right.
That's just so good.
So we are making one of my favorite summer menus. This is such a great one if you don't want to have like friends over and just do burgers on the grill and you want to do something like a little bit fancier. Do this. All these recipes are in the book. So you're going to kick things off with the crudité platter, which is really beautiful. And then if you want to do a summer starter, we have the gazpacho soup, which I love. You garnish it just with the cucumbers, the radish, a little bit of this dill, and it looks so pretty, and people are always so impressed by it. And you can just whirl it up the day before, keep it in your fridge, and then all you have to do is pour, garnish, and serve. This is my favorite grilled chicken recipe for the summer. It's got Dijon, white wine, grilled lemons, and plenty of thyme. And for a side dish, this is awesome. This is my Philippe's pesto orzo salad because this is his favorite salad. And then for dessert, of course, you've got to do the strawberry shortcakes, which are so good. Okay, I'm up. They wheeled this little demo table into the center of the stage and off I went.
Let's welcome in Beth to Twin Cities Live.
The hosts were so nice and friendly and really loved the book, which is always nice. They showed some clips from my YouTube channel, which was fun. And I have to admit, the more I was doing this, the easier these appearances were getting. So that's good. Then it was back to my sister's house. She was going to make me a home-cooked meal, which I was really looking forward to after spending so many nights in hotels.
Hi, sis.
Oh,
hi.
This looks so yum. Party of...
For the cook, it can be tough, but I think I've stepped up my game to hopefully impress her.
Oh my gosh, I am so impressed, you guys. Look how gorgeous this is. I feel like I've just stepped into a fine restaurant. This looks so good. So this is a shrimp curry, right?
Yep.
With asparagus.
Roasted asparagus on top.
Amazing. Okay, no rest for the weary. You're here at Cara 11. We're gonna see.
We go.
Off we
On to
go.
the next.
We're gonna see if Pat has got all of her stuff ready. What a find she was.
Yeah, she was.
Oh my gosh, I love Pat.
She
She's
knows
doing
everything, and like everything was perfectly cut.
I know.
And perfectly placed.
She did a great job. I mean, that's the stressful thing when you do these things out of town because I don't have a kitchen. So I can't cook any of this. And you and I didn't want to be doing all that. That wouldn't have been good.
We need to be relaxing.
We need to be relaxing with our shrimp curry. We made our way through the parking garage until we got to the front entrance. I'm always so impressed by these TV studios. Their entrances and lobbies are always so impressive. And then you can watch the show while you get ready. Pat had everything all packaged up and ready to go. She popped it on a cart and we made our way to the studio. Food styling has got to be one of the hardest jobs. I'm telling you, they have to have everything measured out, labeled, packaged, and then they have to cart it all around. I hadn't really worked with a food stylist very often until I started doing the cookbook work, and I have a newfound appreciation for what they do. Here we go. We had to be quiet because over in the corner, they were already shooting a segment live while we were setting up in the kitchen. So we were trying to tiptoe around and be like quiet little mice. Then for these TV segments, it's always helpful to have little tasting plates for the hosts. That way they can taste what you're talking about and not have to disrupt the hero platters. Then I did a quick little run through with the host, and then a minute later, I was live.
Now she's on a nationwide tour for her brand new book that was just released on Tuesday.
We talked about the book and my philosophy around entertaining. Some additional hosts joined the party, and then everybody dove in. The brownies were such a big hit. Everybody definitely loved those. On the way out in the parking lot, I was introduced to some of the local wildlife. This is the craziest thing. They have wild turkeys here. Look at the turkeys. I cannot believe the wild turkeys.
We have to be very careful because they will attack.
They will
literally, they'll hiss, and then they could like hop on top of you. Like, I'm not kidding. Because you think, oh, they're so cute. And then, no.
Good morning. Today is the day I'm doing my cooking class at Cook's Bellacore. And I'm really excited because while I love the signings and I love the events, they've been super fun, I really want to get back to the cooking. It's just where I feel the most comfortable. I'm staying in my sister's guest room, and she is like the queen of family pictures. She has every iconic photo from the last 40, 50 years. And I really want to do something like this in France because I wake up every morning and I see all these amazing things, like a picture of my brother when he was like maybe 3, my girls and their cousin together, Luke, which was super cute, a trip my sister and I took to Italy, pictures of my parents in London in the 70s. This is a picture that some photographer took for my dad's book tour in 76, 78. Look, my sister even has it here. This is so funny. Called Found Objects. It was a cocktail table design book, which everything was about using things from nature and turning them into something else. You might be able to find it on eBay, but it was a great book. And this was his book tour picture, I believe, some promotional picture. And I've been thinking a lot about that during this book tour, just seeing my dad do it first. I think there's something that we give to our kids. If they can see it, they can be it. And I think had I not seen him do all of that, maybe I wouldn't have believed that I could do it too. Aw, thanks, Dad. And Mom, too, because she kept down the fort. And that's what my husband's doing right now with our daughter. I shudder to think what she's eating, but I'll make it up to her. Time for cooking class. Let's go inside and see if they're all ready for us. Wow, this looks so amazing. So all the books are on the table. This is the most incredible cooking space. This is amazing. I could not wait for this. It all looked so professional. Upstairs was the cooking school and downstairs is the retail shop, which was also gorgeous.
Nice to meet you, Dad. Good, how are you?
I met the executive chef and all the cooking team. These were the folks that were going to be actually preparing the food in the background while I did the demo. That way we could easily feed 48 people. So luckily I had a little bit of help there. I loved looking at all the prep and just seeing these recipes that I usually make for 8 people, now prepped for 48 people. It was all so exciting. It was so fun to personally welcome everybody and thank them for coming. The best part about doing this event in Minneapolis is I get to have my family here. Yay! Do you guys remember Luke and Meg from my Paris video? This is Montana, Luke's dad, and they have the Kidsplainer channel. So Montana, Luke's dad, he produces all those videos with Luke. So check it out. I'll link to it. It was so fun to see a packed house. It almost felt like I had my own restaurant. I started the cooking class and walked through the steak recipe and gave all the tips that are in the book about how to get a great flank steak. And then while the kitchen team was preparing the tasting plates, I was able to go around from table to table and chat with people and sign some books.
I've never had ratatouille before.
Really? And what do you think of it?
It's great.
I paired the steak with the ratatouille, which is another great recipe from the book.
It's good.
It's good, right?
Then for dessert, I showed everybody how to make the chocolate chip cookie recipe and turn it into ice cream sandwiches, which is a fabulous idea for summer entertaining.
Want to try? Yum.
It was such a fun event. Everybody had such a great time. And after the cooking class, everybody was invited to go downstairs because there was a 15% discount on anything in the shop. Thanks, hon.
It was such a great trip. I just am really going to miss you.
I know, me too. But it's time for Chicago. Okay, I have a few hours before the event, so that's good. I think a nap might be in order. Usually when I come to Chicago, I stay in the city, but this time for the tour, one of you guys recommended I go to the suburbs, and you suggested Naperville. I'm so glad you did. It's such a cute little town. Wow, this place is pretty swanky. Look at this. Look at this bathroom. This is amazing. This is like the most amazing room. I cannot believe this. Okay, fab. This looks like a perfect spot for a little nap. I'm gonna take it while I can. After a little rest, it was time to head to the event. So I went to the center of town in Naperville, where Anderson's bookshop is located. This year marks their 100th and 50th anniversary, and you can tell that this little bookstore has meant so much to this community. This is such a cute little downtown. There's even a trolley. How cute is that? Is there anything more charming than a local bookstore? They're a rare breed. As soon as I got to the store, there were people already there taking their seats. I was introduced, and then I felt a little bit like the teacher headed to the class. There was a big desk there, and rather than sit behind it, I decided to sit on it. Answered questions from the audience, signed some books. That's always the most fun part, when I get to chat with everybody. You guys always crack me up with your funny, entertaining stories. We took some pictures, and I reconnected with some Jersey girls. We had a good bonding moment with that. We had to hug it out. And then this was the funniest part.
Lynn, hi.
There was a woman whose mother was in Canada, and she also watches my channel, and she couldn't make the event. So I talked to her via FaceTime, and I signed her book there as she watched. We got everybody together for a picture, and then it was time for the next stop. Okay, I am in my traveling outfit. Here it is, nice and comfy, and it's supposed to rain, so I'm ready to go to Dallas. One more thing before I head to Dallas. As much as I love the French pharmacies, and really I do, there's nothing like a Walgreens. So before my flight, I just had to take a quick stop into Walgreens. We don't have anything like this, like the super pharmacy in France. Just look at all the selection of makeup. It's unbelievable. I was sort of homesick for a lot of these drugstore brands. Oh, great lash, there you are. Look at all of these hair products. I think the amount of choice that you get in the States is just crazy. Like, certainly we have a lot more people here in the United States, so I guess the market is just bigger. And when you have more customers, you just have more choice. I just was amazed. I don't know, I've only been gone a year, but I really was shocked by how many options you have just for body cleansing products. But for me, the real holy grail was the travel product aisle, because this I cannot get in France. Little tiny things of Advil that you can stick in your purse. Shout, wipe, and go. That's always great when you're traveling. Some dental floss. I cannot get good dental floss in France. This one is my favorite because it doesn't hurt your teeth. It's the best. I try to explain to my friends in France what the American drugstore is like. The fact that you can get pet food, cleaners, paper towel, everything, including makeup, at the drugstore. I just think they have a hard time wrapping their heads around, like, how does that work? So I had to just take a moment to show them. One of my favorite things about flying through O'Hare Airport is the Rick Bayless taco stand. I was hoping it was still there and was so happy to see that it was. So of course, I had to grab some lunch. The thing I miss most about leaving LA for France is I can't get good guacamole and chips, which is like a standard in LA. I just can't get chips like this that aren't flavored and that are high quality. And people say, well, go ahead and make the chips yourself. But then I can't get the corn tortillas. So then I go down the road of, well, maybe I can make the corn tortillas, but then I'd have to buy the masa, and I have not been able to find that on Amazon. So anyway, I thought I would just take advantage while I see it to have it in the States. Yeah. While on my flight to Dallas, I took advantage of editing some of this behind the scenes footage because there's so many stops. I have to really edit as I go. That way it won't be so overwhelming when I get back. My cab driver reminded me that everything's bigger in Texas. I forgot that funny expression. I checked into my hotel and decided to have dinner there right at the bar. There was a lovely sushi restaurant there on the ground floor. Just look at this roll. It was a shrimp and avocado roll that then had slices of beef on top that he was cooking with that blowtorch. And then it was served with these crispy onions. How good is that? It was delicious. Supposed to pour this evening, and this is like one of my last outfits that I planned for Dallas. I thought it was gonna be hot here and sunny, but that doesn't look like it's the case. So I hope I don't get drenched with my little dress. If you need a flat iron, this is like the most amazing flat iron. It's called Remington Shine Therapy. I got it at Walgreens. I'm obsessed. It's perfect for the Dallas humidity. My hair, it's so straight. For now, until I go outside. I arrived at Half Price Books for the event, and wow, this was quite a store. I was completely mesmerized by its size. This is the biggest bookstore I've ever seen. Apparently, it's the third largest independently run bookstore in the United States. If this is the third largest, I'm really curious to see the first. Aren't you? They had the table set up with all the books. They had a separate community room all set up for the signing. They even had a step and repeat background for picture taking opportunities. How slick! Now people are starting to arrive. We have a few early birds like Vivian. Hi! Vivian, where are you coming from?
Dallas, Texas. I've been watching you since 2012.
Oh my gosh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
Of course.
And what are you cooking? What are you making?
I specialize in Vietnamese food because I'm Vietnamese. So like I love watching your French recipes because there is a lot of like
There is some carryover.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you follow Honeysuckle Catering?
Yes. I love her.
Isn't she great? Okay, it was getting close. I figured I better make my way back to the community room, assuming I could find it. Things really are bigger in Texas. Oh. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for coming. Hi, guys. Where are you coming from?
We're from Houston, the Houston area.
The Houston area. And you came over here?
All the way here.
To see me?
Yeah, we're driving the rain to see you.
Oh, you're so sweet. Yes, it's supposed to pour. That's what I hear. I know I didn't really bring very good rain gear. Well, thanks for coming. I'm going to be in there. I'll see you soon. Oh, thanks for coming, you guys. I feel a little lonely sitting in here all by myself. I need some friends. I feel like I'm in a little fishbowl. People lined up to have their book signed, and it was just so fun and interesting to hear all of their different stories and kind of how they found my channel and how it's helped them over the years.
I just fully credit you with teaching me how to cook and bake, so I'm just so excited to meet you.
I'm so excited to meet you. So many people don't realize that, like, I haven't had this opportunity to meet so many fans in one place, and it means the world to me. It's just so great. A young girl showed up with her mom and presented me with the cutest little gift, these little shrinky dinks in the form of a croissant and a French flag. At the end of the event, I signed a few extra books that the store had. So if you live in the Dallas area and you want a signed copy, I bet they still have a few left. It's interesting because last night was a signing event and not a presentation. And I think if I were to do this again, the presentation is a little bit more fun because I feel like I get to spend more time with people. People wait in line to get your book signed, and then you only have so much time to chat with them because other people are waiting. So note to self, if I do book number 2, definitely make each stop a little presentation or a cooking class. That was the most fun. More cooking classes next time. I just did the dumbest thing. I just went downstairs to check out. I was all ready to jump in my Uber. I forgot my suitcase. In the room. What's wrong with me? All right, come on, Big Bertha. I can't leave you here. She must be at least 30 kilos by now. This is the biggest airport I think I've ever been in. Oh my gosh. There's like 7 terminals alone just for American Airlines, so I had to find the right one, which meant getting on one of these little Skylink trains, which was good because my feet were really giving out at this point and my bags were so heavy. After spending so much time looking for the right terminal, I had to race to my gate. I was afraid to miss my flight, but as soon as I arrived at the gate, I found out it was seriously delayed. I had plenty of time. I finally made it after 5 hours in Dallas. All the bags came off my old flight. Hopefully went on the new flight, so we will see. I have an 8 a.m. television appearance tomorrow, so if I end up having to wear this, I'll have to really charm them with my personality. It's so hot and humid here. You can't maybe really see, but the windows are fogging up. Oh my gosh. Well, at least I got my bag and I got my new outfit. It's awfully green, but I thought the color was good. I don't know. My sister picked it out for me at J. Crew when we were in LA, and she has, how do we say this, a little bit more adventuresome taste. She always tries to bring me along with her, and I always fall for it, and then she goes away, and then I put it on, and I'm always like, ooh, was this a good idea? I don't know. It's the only clean thing I have left, so I'm going with this. Okay, off we go. I'm here with Lauren from Sprout House. Sprout House is my PR company, and they've been getting me all these TV appearances, which is super fun. So they're based here in Charleston, and so she came to pick me up. Yay!
Can't wait.
On the drive to the studio, it was so amazing to see all of this beautiful Charleston architecture. I love old architecture, especially these beautiful old homes. I just think they're so interesting and dreamy. We arrived at the studio and they buzzed us in. This appearance was going to be a lot easier than the other appearances because there was no food involved. I felt like I was on Easy Street. This was just going to be a nice chat about the book. All right, here we are, waiting our turn.
I was gonna tell them that's like one of the things I can also be doing. Like
The producer took us back to the studio and we started to get set up. Hey, here we go. This was also a live segment, but by this time the whole thing just felt so much easier, especially since there was no food involved, no demos. All I had to do was sit on the sofa and talk about the book. The host also seemed nice. I met her in the lobby and she was very excited about the book, so I figured that was a good sign.
I find like these steps are actually really easy to follow. As a picture of what it will look like.
She was so complimentary about the book, and at the end she even had me sign her own copy. Okay, I'm ready for the book signing. So here's the fit. I love this little sweater. It's at Cezanne right now if you're looking for a summer sweater. And the skirt, this is also another Cezanne piece. I love this skirt because it's linen, and although you have to iron it, it's really high quality linen, so once you iron it, it doesn't get all wrinkly right away. It's very cute for summer. Buxton Books is the sweetest little bookstore on King Street in Charleston, and as soon as you open the door, you feel a little bit transported to another time and place. They had the table set up with a nice little poster. This event was going to be a little bit different because it was more of a book signing open house. Between 11 and 1, people could pop in, get their book signed, have a chat, and it really was a fun format. So this is amazing. So these guys have traveled all the way from North Carolina. They're staying the weekend here. You bought 3 books, which is so sweet.
She doesn't know me, but she's been in our lives without you realizing for years.
That's so
for
sweet.
years.
That's so
Yeah.
sweet.
So you're kind of like part of the family.
Well, thank you for calling. I also love meeting the families who would watch my videos together. They were so cute.
It's quite a crew.
Yeah.
It is. Well, this is just a few of them. We actually have 10 kids.
What? When she told me she had 10 kids, my jaw hit the floor. I couldn't believe how young and rested they both looked, the parents. It's unbelievable. I enjoyed meeting couples who cooked their way through the pandemic with my recipes. And then there was a woman who I've become very friendly with on Substack, and she showed up, and it was so much fun to finally meet her in person. Later in the day, I had time, so I thought I would take one of these horse-drawn carriage rides through the city. It was such a wonderful tour to learn more about the history and the beautiful architecture. I think being on this very busy schedule, I realized every few days I had to take a beat and just take in the beautiful surroundings. Okay, I am headed to my last stop. It is off to Boston. I just had to share this little traveling tip with you. So I saw this on Instagram. It was a flight attendant that shared this tip, and I'm telling you, it works like a charm every time. You put your passport in the hotel safe. Now, this assumes that you have a hotel safe, but I find a lot of hotels, especially in Europe, will have this. Then you take one shoe. Usually the shoe you know you're gonna travel with. So anytime I'm going to the airport, I'm wearing my little tennis shoes here. And you put it in with the passport. Lock it up. And see, the reason I am sharing this with you is because it totally just worked for me. So I'm running around my hotel room right now, packing everything up, and I'm like, where is this other shoe? Because I want to put it on. I'm ready to go. This is why it works so well. It's in the safe. And I would never have remembered to get my passport had I not been looking for my shoe. Works like a charm. Okay, it's time for my last book signing event. I cannot believe this is city number 7. I had no idea how meaningful the whole thing would be for me. So I'm gonna go out with a bang because I hear there's 118 RSVPs for tonight's event. Okay, so I've just arrived and there's people already here.
We're all in line waiting to meet Beth.
All in line, and you came from Provincetown,
I did.
Rhode Island?
No, the end of the Cape.
Oh, at the end of the Cape.
Yes,
Yes.
It's like 2 hours away.
It's like
horses.
And you guys came from DC?
I live here.
You
She's
live
the
here?
win, yeah.
That's
so look exactly the same.
Do I? Well, that's good to know. I don't look older and too more tired.
Perfect. You look perfect.
Hi, Alyssa. Nice to meet you.
Welcome to Parkside.
Thanks for having me.
So happy to have you.
This is such a cute store. I love this. Hi, it's so beautiful. Alyssa took me back through the store where they were going to set up for the book signing. It was such a warm and inviting space. I knew this was going to be perfect.
I didn't know if you wanted to sit or stand.
Given the RSVPs, I opted for sitting. And then people started to arrive and purchase their books and then waited in line to get them signed. It was so much fun to meet everybody and hear all of the different places that they came from. I was just so touched that so many people showed up. It was the perfect ending to a wonderful book tour. One more stop before I leave Boston. I could not leave without seeing this. My freshman dorm room when I was here at Northeastern. Here it is, 153 Hemingway Street. There, and I lived up on the 3rd floor in that bay window. I think that was it, right there. And it was actually pretty nice because right here was the dining hall. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen this in 35 years. This is crazy. Wow, a lot of good times in that dining hall. And then my best friend, she lived around the corner. She convinced her parents to let her live off campus. So she had this great apartment. And I can remember showing up brokenhearted one day on her doorstep. My first real boyfriend had trampled my heart. I ended up here one morning. This is a coffee house. That used to be like the local college bar. And I waited tables in there with a bunch of drunk college kids. And let me tell you, it wasn't pretty. But I used to make a lot of money in tips. Over here was an ice cream shop. And I used to work here. I used to make the ice cream, which I found super fun. That's not here either. Now it's a Dunkin' Donuts. Isn't that funny? Okay, so that's now a Panera Bread. And at the time, it was Store 24. I worked there too. Well, it really was an amazing experience, this tour for me. I loved every minute of it. And I think the thing that's so interesting about being here and coming back to the scene of the crime, I was 18, a lost college student, not knowing what I wanted to do. I didn't really realize what I wanted to do until I was 40 years old. I think the lesson in all of this is always to follow your interests. Because anywhere there is interest, there is passion, and anytime there's passion, there's opportunity. I'm a living example of that. Now I'm headed back to Paris to go collapse in a lounge chair for a little bit. I'll see you soon. Bye.